Wicker joining us right now on Mark and Rich. And how about that Cannon Karma? Delivered a big win just a few days ago as we're heading into the weekend for another big game against Nevada and Viejas.
Well, good afternoon, and appreciate the time. And yes, the Cannons have been delivering some great karma, putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Hartman. He's thinking that he can just pass it all off to Costa and perhaps bring some Ornberger magic in this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys at I believe y'all call it the Fusion, how that all works out, and we discuss where we're going for tomorrow night.
Exactly. Well, right. We're very much looking forward to that moment, and I know my first question, and I want to know, JD, if you're even aware of this. But Steve keeps hiding behind this national show that he's got to do tomorrow, and therefore he can't make the game. Are you aware that, the game tips off at 8 o'clock. Is that correct, JD?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7
okay.
p.m., yep.
Are you aware that Steve's show is over at 1 in the afternoon? I know that we've learned because of the Chargers that San Diego and L.A. are not right next door to each other, but I do know they're not 6 hours apart.
I didn't realize that. My whole thing had been, do we not get sick days and vacation days? Come on, it's Cannon Karma.
That's what I'm saying, Jay. You know what? You're absolutely right. We're going to handle this on the Fusion, and I think I actually have a little surprise for Steve and Mike. So I appreciate all of your efforts in helping me orchestrate that. Moving on to this matchup and sort of the whirlwind of a week that the Aztecs have had. Malik Pope returning to the lineup, looking ahead to Nevada now, the last year's Mountain West champions. What are the prospects here, and what sort of what influence did you have on the decision for Pope to return to the court?
Well, obviously, I was met with our compliance folks this morning on our regular meeting, and it's hard to believe it was 6:45 in the morning a week ago that this all started. First and foremost, we outlined a process that we felt like we needed to go through to, feel good about the answers that Malik was giving. Malik was fantastic through all of this. From the very beginning, he was like, I haven't done this. I don't know these people. And we outlined that process, and we said, here are the things we're going to need to do. We believe you, but, there's some due diligence that's there. And he said, I understand, and he helped out every time we asked. So I can't say enough about Malik, the person, and how he handled it.
JD Wicker, Athletic Director, San Diego State, with us. JD, I wonder, what changes you do feel need to be made. We're still waiting for much more to come out of the FBI comprehensive investigation. And there are a lot of people, I'm one of them, who are thinking, hey, maybe this is, while bad in the moment for some people in schools, it'll be good in the long run. It'll help clean the whole thing up. But what does that mean to you, cleaning it up? Like, what needs to happen?
I think it's at a lot of different levels. It's, the NCAA, there's things that, we can probably do better. It's the NBA and the NBA Players Association, as far as how agents handle things and how agents act. The NBA and the Players Association can have a dramatic impact, I think, on that. And then, however you work with AAU and the summer circuit and, those pieces, obviously the shoe companies are somehow involved, make it more difficult for those people who want to be the bad actors, who want to go out there and, maybe not represent themselves appropriately, whether that's, whoever that may be, agents. There's definitely, there would definitely be some assistant coaches in there at times that I may, push the envelope a little bit to keep progressing, but it's people have to be on the up and up. And there's, parents out there that they just don't know any better. They might not understand how the system works. And so we need to educate better. It's going to take a while to figure out, but I'm hopeful that this whole process will, help us get there and try to push those bad actors out.
JD Wicker, athletic director for San Diego State, joining us. You know, JD, from a personal standpoint, your reputation as athletic director is tied to San Diego State and this college, men's college basketball scandal, this FBI probe. I imagine there are a lot of people who probably had their hand in action, shaking in their boots. San Diego State, you guys say you're clean, and to a man, nobody has said any different, and we haven't found anything different. Especially in this internal review of Malik Pope's situation, him being exonerated after being withheld. So this is all trending in the right direction. But how much sleep have you lost over the past month and a half over this? Because you're athletic director. There's a lot of things you have to do. If somebody was doing something underneath you, away from the light of day that you couldn't see, in some ways your reputation would still be affected by that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, losing sleep is more tied to my 4-week-old than anything else right now. But it's no. I mean, I lose it whether this is going on or not. You know, our lives are dependent upon 18 to 22-year-olds at this point. And I don't know about you guys, but I know what I did as an 18 to 22-year-old, and I'm, and scared of my daughters growing up as well, and how that will keep me up at night. But it's, one, we educate. We do a great job educating our staff in the building. We educate our student athletes in the building. You look to hire the right people. You do your due diligence when you hire people. And then we had an all-staff meeting on Monday, and, obviously a lot happened last weekend, not just Malik Pope, but some other things. And, and I told my staff, I said, look, first off, I trust each of you implicitly. We've hired you, and because we've hired you, we've done the due diligence. We trust in you. I will have your back always. However, there are going to be moments in your life when you're going to come to a choice. You have to make a choice, and you need to think about your family, yourself, your reputation. You need to think about San Diego State University and what that choice means, and you need to make the right choice. But I trust that you're going to make that choice. And, and that's how I feel. And they appreciated hearing that. And I appreciate the fact that they'll take that to heart and they'll make the right choice when given an opportunity maybe to go in a different direction.
JD, what are the dates of the 2 basketball games against Gonzaga next year?
I think that contract was up back in December, unfortunately. So,
no.
Interesting news that Mr. Ziegler broke.
Yes, it is. Well, what is your reaction, and what do you think the likelihood is right now?
I think it's kind of the same answer I give when people ask me about the other. What's San Diego State looking to do? One, we're always looking to improve the Mountain West Conference, and if given that opportunity, a team like a Gonzaga could come in and, they don't just bring great men's basketball, they really bring great sports across the board. Obviously, men's basketball is the one you see the most, but their women's basketball program has been outstanding for a long time. So if, that ends up happening, that's a great thing for the Mountain West Conference.
We had Mark on earlier in the week, talked to him about his dealings with the Mountain West commissioner and the information he was able to procure in that conversation. JD, one of the things that stuck out to me, is this going to be a good decision for all of the programs, not just within the Mountain West, but also with San Diego State in and of themselves? Yes, the basketball is strong at Gonzaga, but you also will have to face them on other schedules, football included. So overall, would this be a great move, all thumbs up, should it happen?
Yeah, I think so. Again, they've had success with baseball. Again, their women's basketball program is extremely strong. They've been to the Elite Eight in the last couple of years and pretty consistently in the NCAA tournament. And their other sports are good, so it would be, good across the board. You're not going and really playing at altitude, so that's always a positive thing as we look at that in our league. So, I think across the board it would be strong if they get added, and it would help you a little bit on a TV renegotiation, which will start a year from April. Obviously, football is the big mover in the TV world, but that basketball piece would help a little bit.
JD Wicker, athletic director, Sdsu. JD, real quick, as the task force comes together and they're still debating, whatever's going to happen in the next few weeks, months, with regard to thoughts on the Aztec name, is there anything you can share? What are your thoughts on that discussion right now?
Obviously we're excited about the Aztec brand that we have. Our student athletes and coaches and staff take it very seriously, and how we represent that in the community. So I'm very positive for it, and I think with the mascot, with what Dr. Weber did back in the early 2000s and how they very thoughtfully went through the process and ended up where we did today, that we do a good job. Obviously, there's always, opportunities to improve upon ourselves, and hopefully this will identify some more areas that we can do that, and we can, my goal would be to stay status quo.
JD, thank you so much for coming on. This is great stuff. Great to have you. And I know Rich is, as it stands right now at least, he's filling in tomorrow. But that's just out of the goodness of his heart. I want to make sure we're clear on, if something bad were to happen tomorrow, that's Steve's fault. We're all clear there, right? Yeah.
It is. Well, if Steve's pulling out, it's a tough thing right now. I am hoping for the best. And it's going to be a phenomenal crowd as I look at the Aztecs faithful out there that already have their tickets. Make sure you're using them tomorrow night, whether it's you or you're giving them to somebody else, and there may be a couple still available to purchase, and come out and see who shows up. Is it Hartman, or is it Ornberger, or is it all three of them?
I hope for all three. I really do.
Okay, yeah. I like where this is going. Hey, JD, get some rest, okay?
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys, and I'm looking forward to the fusion.
Yes, us too. Thank you, JD.
As are we, right, yes. Oh, there he goes. Good stuff. JD Wicker, athletic director, San Diego State. Some reaction to that, flipping headlines coming up.